Everyone, I'm going to be reviewing for you Spectre, the James Bond movie. This is a really interesting time in the James Bond series because we've had four Daniel Craig movies. We've had Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and now Spectre. And all four of these films have been almost very different. The first one was a awesome reboot. It really brought the series back. Then you had Quantum of Solace, which saw us kind of detour into a very different action movie territory. It was very different from anything Bond films or fans of Bond films have been used to. It was very different and felt more like a Jason Bourne Mission Impossible film than having the royalty of Bond. Then we went back to Skyfall, which was extraordinary, one of the best James Bond films to date. It's got a lot of heart, it's really emotional, and it's beautifully shot. Now coming to Spectre, we actually should pull those same expectations from Skyfall because, to be honest, it does follow in its footsteps. It's not far off from it, but there is a missing emotional connection. The first one, well, Skyfall, while focusing on 007 and his past and his relationship with his parents, even in a small subplot, this seems to just try and sweep everything the first movies have gone out to set up and put them into one neat finish. And that's not saying they're done. They have No Time to Die coming out, but it seems like they were ready to almost kind of wrap everything they had up because they were out of ideas. It seems like they're running out of ideas. This film tries to connect all the past villains, tries to connect Dominic Green, Le Chiffre, and it also tries to connect Silva, Javier Bardem's character, to Christoph Waltz, and he plays the villain. He plays Franz Obenhauser, also known as Ernst Ravil Blofeld, and Bond even says some dumb line like, that's a catchy name. And Daniel Craig's Bond works. I mean, I really like him. I really like Lea Seydoux. I love the cinematography by Hoyt van Hoytema. The man is a genius, and he's worked with Christopher Nolan, and he's worked now with Sam Mendes. They are really skilled directors, these guys, who know how to tell a shot. The only issue with this film is I feel it's just a little more bland than Skyfall. It's like a much better shot version of Quantum of Solace. While that movie was banging all over the place and it was flying around and it was really tight and fast and short, I felt this was equally as bland and disconcerted, but it was trying to be royal and it had that sharp and sleek cinematography that Sam Mendes is known for capturing. He likes having really clean sets, and that is very visible in this film. I mean, the mansion and hideout of Blofeld is awesome. It all looks great. It's just the pacing is something I had an issue with because there's moments that aren't constantly exciting, and there's moments that feel they've repeated them. That's what I feel. I think that this movie could be a lot better. It has Dave Bautista as one of the henchmen. It has a lot of the throwback feel. It has a scarred villain. Skyfall had this too, and now the next one stars Rami Malek as a scarred villain. So they really have learned what makes a Bond film interesting visually, and they found great Bond girls, but it's just a matter of making the story kind of just tight. I think Mark Forster tried to do that with Quantum of Solace, and he really failed because that was a complete twisted Bond film. It didn't feel at all like the swagger you'd get from even this. So there is a way to make the Bond films good and not completely overblown. Yeah, so Spectre is a decent movie. It just could be a little shorter and have more control over the villains.